I'm Sharon, and I'm from Brooklyn Center.
Did you know that as a resident of Brooklyn Center, you have an all-access pass to Northwest Community Television? You can produce your own show or help other residents create theirs.
What I like about Northwest Community Television, it's a community where I can produce my own craft shows and kids programs, as well as helping others with their shows.
Ready to produce your own TV show? Visit nwct.org. Get your all-access pass today.
This is going to be for the first show. There. So this is ready. Okay. We're going to recycle, reuse, and make something old into something new. Yep. My name is Sharon Kephart, and this is Angel, and our show is Auntie Sharon's Crafts and More. Okay, girl, are you ready? I want my viewers to look at things differently, and that's what I try to do, is I look around the house and I'll walk around and say, oh, I could use that in one of my crafts. My show is on Channel 20. It plays on Thursday nights, 7 to 8 p.m. It plays at 3 o'clock in the morning for those that are up that early, and also from 11 to noon on Friday morning.
Hi, I'm Ashley from Kids for a Better World, a nonprofit organization encouraging the empowerment of youth, supporting youth initiatives, and creating partnerships to address the needs of individuals, children, and families. Be the change.
Be the change and make your action get involved. Be the change and make your action get involved.
Hi, I'm Auntie Sharon. Welcome back to my Come Join Me on my Comeback Journey show. It's a new show that I started because on January 6th of this year, I had a fall and a traumatic brain injury resulted from that fall. And I wanted to do a show that, the reason for the show was because I didn't feel comfortable getting back in front of the camera with my other two shows that I do, which is Auntie Sharon's Crafts and More and Story Time, because I was having a lot of cognitive issues and problems with words and speech. So I decided to do this show because I thought it was important that I not hide what has happened to me, and I wanted to show you what it was like for someone who had a traumatic brain injury, what their day is like, what I go through, the frustrations in that. And I call it a journey because this is just one little step along the journey of my life, and it's kind of a hiccup in the path. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling for some words right now, and that seems to be what's happened a lot to me with this this traumatic brain injury. And I've asked you out in my audience out there to write in and tell me your frustrations, your stories, and that things that you might have gone through, so we can go on this journey together. This show is not edited. What you see and what you hear is what you get. All of my mistakes, anything that might happen with the cameras, it's all going to be down there, because I wanted it to be just open so that you could see honestly what happens with my thoughts and things like that if I mess up. And today, though, I am so excited because I love having guests on my show. And I have some guests that are here that I can't remember. Okay, see, there we go again. It just, everything left me. But our, I think Barb is our director here at the Northwest Community Television, or does the
Studio
the
manager.
studio manager. Thank you. My guest helped me. And so she has asked if, or I asked her if her stepson and her husband would like to come and be on my show, because they have also in their family had been touched by traumatic brain injury. And that's what this show is about: getting together, talking, sharing, helping each other, and just showing you what our day's like. And so without further ado, I would like to invite you to, that's not the word that I was looking for, I would like to introduce you to my guests, Pat and Brian. Pat and Brian, if you would like to introduce yourself to our audience.
Watch out for the greatest of all time. P.A.T. It's Pat.
Awesome.
And I'm Brian, his dad.
All right. Well, I am so happy that you are on my show. And we're going to talk a little bit about why you're on my show. And Pat, I see you have something in front of you that I think I'm going to mispronounce it, but I'm going to try my best. It's a Dynovox?
Dynovox, yes.
Dynovox. And I looked up on the internet, and it's something about, it's a way to communicate. And wasn't it back in the 1991 when this first came out?
I'm not sure. I know they keep improving it, and when he first got set up for it, there's large screens and small screens based on their needs, and this was the best one because it needed to be mounted on his wheelchair. So, but yeah, they have software, and it goes on the internet and Wi-Fi and everything on it.
That is really cool. And I see you have a lot of things programmed on here. And I think before we kind of talk about your Dynovox a little bit more in detail, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about you.
I'm from Jordan, Minnesota. My nickname is Whitey. I am 27 years old. I moved here May 31st. My name is Pat. My birthday is June 6th. I use this computer to communicate.
That is awesome. I think that is so cool. I'm watching it from back here, and there's actual pictures that Pat can push.
Yep.
So that is really cool. Is it all programmed in there?
What they do is we find what needs he has for communication. There's a keyboard where you can generally type anything that he thinks of, and then it will speak it. But most of the time, his needs, his interests, and all that are already pre-programmed, so they can just push a button when people ask him questions about what's going on. And I'm not sure if there's one about the accident or not. Do you know if there's one in there, Pat, about the accident? That explains what happened, you know, leading up to being here. But
Sure.
so it has, you know, there's different interests, how he feels, if he's angry or tired. Those are all words preset. We went on a fishing outing. ACR Homes, which is the group home that he lives in, they arranged a fishing outing, and so we had things, fish on, so we prompted things on there. I need more bait. So they were automatic sayings that we would use in the future. So if he's got something coming up, we can program in sayings that he may need. We went to the state fair. I took him to the state fair, and so he could punch in, I want sugar, I want salt, I want, you know, whatever he would like, or so those sayings were also then programmed in there, and you can eliminate them or change them.
Well, that is really remarkable, actually. I mean, technology is just, it's amazing what you can do with technology nowadays and that. Can you, I understand that you used to volunteer at the motocross, and is that where they do motorcycles and race? Okay. And that you helped out, so if somebody fell or something like that, you would go out and you would recover them and help and bring them back and stuff. And then I understand that the accident that happened to you happened at the motocross?
Yes, he was a paid volunteer. He'd been doing it since he was 15, and so he'd been there 10 years. And Pat's job was when a kid would crash, he would run onto the track and see if they're okay. But the crash happens at the base of a hill. As a crash happens, flags come out, and the rest of the racers are supposed to stop or slow down. And these are quad, the four wheels, so they're huge. And they're 20-some-year-old people. They're not little kids. They're adults, young adults. So,
Whoops, I'm sorry. This is
That's
all
all right.
real life. I thought I put this on.
I don't know how to turn mine on.
I thought I turn this down.
You're fine.
You guys, this is a new phone. I have no idea what I'm doing here. So let me see if
I don't know what I'm doing on my old phone, much less a new phone.
I've never had a smartphone before at all. So I think okay, hold on a second. This is what happens, and Pokemon Go on here. I got to get this off so that I can close it. I think I understand what I did wrong. I turned down the media, not the ringtone.
Oh.
Sorry about that. And we always say in our shows, do you have your phone turned off? Well, sorry. And let's pick back up where you were talking about.
So Pat was on the track, and there was a racer that did not either see the flags or pay attention to the flags. And so he launched off of the hill and landed on top of Pat, crushing his right side. So it broke. It collapsed both lungs. It broke his leg and his arm. And other internal injuries, vertebrae were fractured. But the traumatic part was it hit him in the head, which knocked Pat unconscious. And he was flown out by helicopter to HCMC from St. Francis in Shakopee. And that's where our journey began.
Yes, the word journey, it's a very important word.
Yeah, it's as you know, it was life-changing certainly for Pat and for all of us involved. But
yes, I know, it's so good that you are here, and those flags are important for a reason. And did anything happen to the person that?
No, we never heard from him. He ended up with a concussion from the impact. But yeah, ironically, no contact or anything from him or the family after that at all, which was kind of odd. But they're dealing with it how they want to deal. And there's also the legal things too. I think
Sure.
right away, people are worried about legal issues and that type of stuff. So, but now it's been a year and a half or more.
So that was my question. It was a year
yeah.
and a half ago?
It was April 25th of 2015.
Okay.
And Pat had just purchased his first home, a townhouse, and he was supposed to move in May 1st, and he never moved in.
Oh.
So we just recently sold that, and
Yeah.
but that's the way it goes. He got to go there. His sister ended up watching it for him, so he had his birthday celebration at his townhouse. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
kind of cool. We all got to go down for that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's amazing how our brains work. That one moment you're doing something a certain way, and then all of a sudden something like that can change your life drastically. And I mean, there are severe head traumas and there's mild traumas. Everybody's traumatic brain injury is a little different from everyone else's, but we all seem to experience some similar things. And do you ever have where you know, you've got thoughts in your head, and it's like, and I know that for you need to use this to communicate, but do you ever feel that it's hard to find that thought in your head, that you maybe lost the words, and that it's just getting them out onto here, that making someone be able to put it in there for you, and that? So
I just noticed as his thoughts jump around, you know.
like mine.
Yes, and
over the place.
we'll be riding in the van, and he'll start to chuckle, and I'll say, "What are you laughing about?" And then he'll turn on his keyboard and start to type something that he remembered from a movie, or you know, just something pops. Because I'll ask him, "What are you laughing about?" Because I think it's about something that's happening right now, and I don't see where the humor is. And then he'll just go like this. In other words, it's something he thought of. And then he'll turn on his keyboard and tell me, generally, because since we know each other's humor so well, he just starts to type it, and then I'll say, "Oh, is that the line from the movie?" Yeah, then he'll nod his head. So.
Oh,
yeah. So then I know
that you guys know a lot of lines from movies, and you talk about them all the time. And comedies.
Yep, the first sound that we got from Pat the first time, I'll never forget it, because I got him to laugh, and he was still at his, let's see, he was conscious at that point. I think both your eyes were open finally, one eye open, then another eye over time, and then it's then wondering, what Pat do we have here? You know, do we have our Pat? And so I did a line from a movie that Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which we loved. One of the first movies that him and I shared. And so I gave a line from the movie, and all of a sudden he started to chuckle. He smiled, and he made his first sound, and that was a laugh. Wow. So that was a big moment. That's because then I knew that Whitey's in there, and you know, my son, I have my son still. So I mean, I had him, but you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You call him Whitey. Why? I mean, where'd that come from?
He got that when he was just a little lad.
Okay.
He had white hair, and he was pale. And so all of my children had nicknames, all four of them. And so his was Whitey Stick Boy, because he was extremely skinny, and his legs and arms were like this big. So we called him Whitey Stick Boy, was his full nickname. And then we just reduced it to Whitey because it was easier to say. And there's only myself, one of his sisters, because Sarah, the oldest sister, calls him Trick, short for Patrick.
Oh, okay.
But Natalie calls him Whitey, and his younger sister calls him Whitey sometimes. She calls him other names too, but we can't say those on television. I'm just kidding. The brothers and sisters, you know.
Yes, definitely.
He's got lots of names, but a lot of them we can't say.
Okay.
No.
Well, I know that there's another nickname you go by too, and it's I think it's Camel Pat. Can you tell me where you got that name?
He got that in high school, actually. He was not. Everyone assumes that he was in the military, but he wasn't.
Camel,
or
right.
In fact, the facility he was at, they put in there that he likes hunting, because he had so much. In fact, his wheelchair is camel painted.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
And actually, he doesn't hunt either.
Yeah.
He just loved wearing camo. And when he was younger, we really got into World War II a lot. And we watched a lot of movies. Memphis Belle was one of his favorite movies when he was young, and about World War II. So from that, he really got into the camo, wearing of the camo. And so he was wearing it all the time. And we knew what to buy him at Christmas and at birthdays was something camo. And so at school, they just started calling him Camel Pat.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
That's a nice nickname to have.
Yeah.
So, well, I know that you know, the impact of traumatic brain injury isn't just to the person. It affects everyone around us. The family's dynamics, like you said, you know, wondering, you know, which Pat do we have, kind of thing. Everybody's life is changed. It's not just, like for me, it's not just my journey. it's all my friends, all my families, it's their journey too. And it sounds like your family has been, dealing with some things. There's ups and there's downs, and there's trying to figure out things and helping. It looks like you've done a lot of good recovery in that, and it's still a journey. We still are improving, and people say, well, to me they do. They say, well, your traumatic brain injury is cured now, isn't it? I go, no, it's not. I still struggle. I still have difficulties in getting my thoughts out and processing, and it's still a journey, and it's always going to be a journey. But that's what's so great about that word journey, is I don't think we ever are done with our journey, and our journeys may take us in different places in different ways. And sure, a traumatic brain injury is a traumatic thing that affects so much of our lives and our friends and everybody, but it's part of the journey that we're going on. Sometimes we go straight, but our journeys are never totally straight going forward. Sometimes we take a few steps back. Sometimes we go a little bit off to the side. And I think of traumatic brain injury as just a log that was put in my way, and I just have to find a way around it. Do you ever find some days it's like it's so difficult and hard, and you just kind of, the emotions are so strong, but it sounds like you've got a great family that's supportive. But I'm sure there's been days and times.
He has moments when we're going through therapies and stuff. He wants to say something and he can't. When he gets pushed to really speak and he's trying to mouth the words but he can't, he'll hit himself, or he gets frustrated. He'll pound the wheelchair. Or if we're doing a physical exercise like walking, he'll pound his leg because he's telling his leg to move, but it doesn't.
Right.
So, I know what he's going through because you can see it in his eyes that because you say, well, Pat, step this way. And so then the synapses are all going, but it won't work. Then he'll get mad and he pounds his leg. I said, that really didn't help much, but
No.
it's the frustration.
Right.
So we're working on that, that part of it too. But
Yeah, and that's real life. I mean, that's, and those are the things that we wanted to talk about and to show. And, for you out there in our TV land, and that maybe you're going through some things too. And, maybe you can write in, you can let us know, and we could share your story also. Or you could come and be a guest on our show. But we have so much that we want to talk about and so much to share. And as our time for this show is coming to a close, I'm just going to let you know that we are going to actually have a part 2. We're going to have our guests stay, and we're going to do another show. So this will be part 1 of a 2-part show, because we have so much to talk about, and I'm so excited that they're here. And we want to let you know that you can contact us on our website, which is right down on the bottom here of the email. It was comebackjourney@gmail.com, or you can contact us on our see, there's my thoughts and words. I can't get them out, and I understand too. I sometimes get frustrated with myself too. It's like, oh, I should know this. I should be able to do this. Here it is, comment line. Thank you for putting it up for me. It's 763-533-1710. And there's another thing I want to make sure I mention is brainline.org is another site you can go to for people with traumatic brain injuries and their families and professionals, and you can get a lot of great information there. But is there anything that you would like to share or say with your Dynovox? Did I say that correct again? to kind of say bye to our audience, and then we're going to be back, of course, for a second show. And anything you want to tell our audience?
Let's see. You want to do that?
I'm doing awesome.
I guess that's about it. Where's your quick fires? There. That one.
Thanks.
That's so cool. Thank you for coming to my show, and thank you for staying around so we can do a part 2. And thank you again for coming to come join me on my comeback journey. I'm Auntie Sharon, and come back next week, and I'm going to have Pat and Brian back on my show, and we're going to talk more about his Dynovox and more about, struggles and feelings and emotions and stuff like that that are important for our journeys. So again, thank you for coming. I give you my heart, and we'll see you next week.
I'm Ben Utek. I played high school, college, and pro football, helping my team win the 2006 championship. My career ended after I suffered my 5th concussion. More than 1 million athletes suffer a concussion each year. The American Academy of Neurology recommends athletes thought to have a concussion be immediately removed from play and assessed by a healthcare professional trained in concussion. This isn't just about sports. It's about your brain. When in doubt, sit it out. A message from the American Academy of Neurology.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Will, for example. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
I'm Sharon, and I'm from Brooklyn Center.
Did you know that as a resident of Brooklyn Center, you have an all-access pass to Northwest Community Television? You can produce your own show or help other residents create theirs.
What I like about Northwest Community Television, it's a community where I can produce my own craft shows and kids programs, as well as helping others with their shows.
Ready to produce your own TV show? Visit nwct.org. Get your all-access pass today.
Hi, I'm Ashley from Kids for a Better World, a nonprofit organization encouraging the empowerment of youth, supporting youth initiatives, and creating partnerships to address the needs of individuals, children, and families. Be the change.
Be the change and make